many people that I see are worried about interest rates, mortgage renewals, and cash flow. But here's the truth. Most Canadians don't care about any of that. They only care about one number, and that has nothing to do with mortgages. Let's look at the numbers first. 37% of Canadians don't have a mortgage on their home. That's over 4 million households that bought a home when it costs peanuts. Just to provide context, in the 1980s, an average home in Canada cost $70,000. It costs 10 times that in today's market. Boomers who bought cheap back then are sitting on massive equities, and they don't care about interest rates being 2%, 5% or 10% because they do not have a mortgage on their home. They do not even care about cash flow on their investment properties. So what do they care about? All they care about is one number, and that's home value. Now let's look at another piece of information that's shocking to me. For all these retired homeowners or people who are nearing their retirement, their house is their retirement plan. Only 1 in 3 Canadians have a workplace pension today. Over 40% of Canadians between the age group of 55 to 64 have less than $5,000 to their name. So their entire retirement strategy is to sell their big home, downsize, and live off the difference. If home values collapse, the plan collapses with it. And suddenly, millions of Canadians would need government support, OAS, GIS, and healthcare subsidies. And honestly, they don't even care about the values coming down from 2022 to right now, because the values are still way higher than what they bought it at, and their retirement plans are still intact. Sure, they would have wanted a $1.5 million payout for something that they bought for $150,000 many decades ago. But I'm sure they won't complain about selling that same home for $1.2 million, considering the amount of equity that they have, and they paid off this home long back. So all this talk about the market going down in the last 3 years, I don't think the boomers are worried about that. Older Canadians are not just sitting on high equity. They are also the one who show up to vote. In the last federal election, it's estimated that over 50% of voters were over the age group of 50. And even the turnout rates in this age group were over 80% compared to the younger millennials and Gen Z, where the turnout rate was about 66%. Translation, people who own the home also control the votes. They are government's biggest vote bank. And protecting their home value is not just about protecting their retirement, it's also protecting political power. So who is actually suffering? It's clear it's not the boomers who are suffering. It's the millennials and Gen Z, where the home prices are just out of reach if you're not making enough money. It's immigrants on work permits and PRs who are forced to rent. They can't buy because of the foreign buyer ban. And even if you are a PR, all you're doing is contributing to the tax system, and you don't even have a vote. To put numbers on this, since 2000, the home prices have increased by 275%, whereas the Canadian incomes on average has increased by only 60%. The home price to income ratio in Canada is 9:1 compared to US, where it's 4:1. That basically means that you need 9 years of your entire income to buy a home in Canada, which is bizarre. Yes, younger Canadians are angry, but the system isn't built for them. Now let's talk about who benefits from homes staying expensive. It's not just the boomers and the homeowners. High home prices also means that municipalities are able to collect more property taxes. Banks are able to earn more interest that contributes to the GDP of Canada, because let's be honest, Canadian economy is made mostly of banks and other commodities that also benefit the banks. Builders are making more by selling smaller condos and much smaller units than what they were building before. And then of course, existing homeowners feel richer, and investors are happy because there are a lot more younger Canadians who are not able to afford to buy their home, and therefore the pool of renters increase, and therefore their cash flow improves. The only group that loses is the new buyer, and therefore the government has not done anything meaningful to bring down the home values. In the name of building homes, they are allowing builders, or at least they are not stopping them from building really small condos. And honestly, they are all purpose built for rentals. And then adding over 1 million people in 2 consecutive years have made things worse. Even Mark Carney's big promise of building homes involves prefab, and honestly, they are all purpose rentals. They are not something that I would want to buy for myself and my family. And none of the actions that the government has taken in the last 5 years, forget about the last 1 year since the election, in the last 5 years have pointed towards building more single family homes to increase the inventory so that the prices for those single family homes can come down. The more I think about this, the more I research, the more I feel that the government is not even trying. The only real force bringing down the property values right now is the job insecurity. When tariffs and recessions are scaring people, out of this market. Look at what's happening with the US. Canada has removed all the tariffs, or at least they have announced that, and US has not retaliated. Not at least, when I was shooting this video, which is 4 days before this video is going live. Unemployment has creeped to really high levels, one of the highest since 2017. And look at the trade tariffs. Mark Carney ran his entire election, or at least he won, because he's an economist and he was in a better position, so to speak. And I actually made these videos as well, that he might be in a better position to negotiate good terms with Trump, but that has not happened, and it's just adding to the uncertainty. And there are a lot of clients, in fact, I have a lot of clients that I'm actually asking them to wait because their jobs are being impacted by how these tariff discussions unfold. So the next time you hear about interest rates, because the media, YouTubers, everyone loves talking about these, just know that most Canadians aren't even thinking of it. Them, along with the government, only cares about one number, and that's how much their home is worth. And until that changes, the dream for home ownership for young Canadians is very difficult. But here's the positive side. If you don't want to buy, that's okay. You can always rent and double down on investing into the stock market. That's an extremely legit way of building your retirement plan. I actually made an entire video on renting versus buying that includes a calculator that can put your finances into perspective. And I've linked that video right here on the screen. That's all I have for today. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए bye bye.